I'm now totally organic and vegan. He then said, there's another piece of research that's mostly coming from Europe, but theoretically Parkinson's is not reversible. There happens to be a drug called isradipine, and somebody was smart enough without a clinical trial to realize that everybody taking isradipine, thank you, GlaxoSmithKline, none of those people taking this blood pressure medication had Parkinson's. And so in investigating a little bit why, so I got in touch with what was a lot of learning that was available to my particular case, and it was very satisfying. And I have a whole regimen. I'm taking control of my own health, and I'm doing it in a way that's assisted by what's available online, but it's highly directed. And I think that's the promise for a lot of the conditions that you're dealing with, is to find a way of making this marvelous technology available to alert people what's happening, to see that the medical profession is increasingly going online, and how is this to be organized? How do you alert people to what they're interested in? One of the things, it's not necessarily a plug for Organized Wisdom, but if you want to go and just look at what people are searching for on a moment-to-moment basis, it's just so fascinating. And it's so much richer in texture than the kind of the shotgun ads that we're aiming at people. I'm not taking anything away, and please continue to advertise in Time Magazine and CNN. But people have very specific needs for themselves and their family, and they're kind of groping and trying to fit it into some Google long-tail searches. That's when you want to catch hold of them. That's when we can give them as much information as possible, not the 30-second disclaimer or the 2 pages in our magazines, but something that's really meaningful to their condition. And everybody has something totally distinctive for them. Even if you don't think so, they believe that. They need to be honored and respected.
So, I think what you described, and we call it the health gap, and it's that scary space between the doctor visit where you get that kind of diagnosis, prognosis, and the internet where you go on and you search alone, and quite frankly, in a very scary place, alone to navigate and try to figure it out yourself. The idea of closing the health gap is a gigantic problem, and clearly there's entrepreneurial companies that are trying to close the health gap and are focused on closing the health gap. There's larger companies that would like to close the health gap. How might a DTC marketer or a marketer, any company, look to try to close the health gap that exists between the doctor visit and the internet?
Well, that's another reason why I'm really honored to be here, because you're the industry of communication, connecting the individual to some solution. And there are tried and true ways that that's been done in the past, not only advertising and retail specialists. And, there's been a whole regimen, and I understand there are regulations. But there's now a tremendous opportunity to take advantage of not just the disconnected technology. Yes, everybody has a smartphone now, so it's the mobile handheld device, the iPad is an amazing thing. It's to convert that technology as a window on specific information, because you know more than anyone how detailed the information base is with respect to conditions, trials, medications, other forms of therapy, the whole range from health and wellness, mental health, physiological health. You're what I would call your database, which is actually intrinsic in your marketing program, is something that needs to flourish in a way that's much more directed in relationship to an individual who has these issues that need to be addressed on an individual specific basis. I certainly don't have the answers how to do that, but it's time to kind of be innovative about it. So to me, what would be helpful is that you represent the vested interests of the healthcare industry. What I would characterize more generally as health and wellness, and the pursuit of happiness, the most important thing for any individual or family. So I'd like to see that. I'm just one individual, but also entrepreneurial effort. Now I say that knowing how much I failed in turning a big ship around called Time Warner to try and do the things that I thought were really important. This was very hard when you have a legacy form of finance, culture, but kind of an injection of entrepreneurship would be helpful. You know, what's a new way of doing something? The most exciting thing in downtown Manhattan now, not necessarily in healthcare, and I think that's the problem. There's so many new digital startups. It's so exciting to see what entrepreneurs are doing, not only thinking out of the box, but taking advantage of cloud computing and how inexpensively you can do something really innovative. What's striking to me is there are very few of these entrepreneurs in downtown Manhattan, other than entrepreneurs sitting to my left, who are in the healthcare space. And there must be a lot of reasons for that. I mean, even the financial system is not necessarily promoting that, you know, the next big idea for where's the next Facebook, the next Twitter, the next Groupon, the next Google. So maybe there's some leadership in co-opting entrepreneurial activity as it relates to the internet and in digital media. And I say digital media because there's so many ways of reaching the consumer now. I mean, even the thing that we call the television set is basically dissolved into, you know, many, many screens. And I can watch television on my iPad instead of going to the bathroom with my newspaper.
So I've had the privilege over the last year since we were introduced